Hi friends, Jan from the Moline Library here. Today I'm going to tell you about some of the great fantasy series that we have in our tween and teen sections that you may have not heard of. In other words, not Harry Potter or Percy Jackson. The Children of the Lamp series, the first book is called The Akhenaten Adventure, and it is about twins who discover that they are descended from jinn, also known as genies. The Iron Child is the first book of the Magisterium, and in this book everybody wants to pass the Iron Trial and go to the Magisterium to study magic, except for our main character, who has a very good reason to want to avoid the Magisterium. Gregor the Overlander is the first book in the Overland Chronicles, and it is by Suzanne Collins, who also wrote a little thing called The Hunger Games. And in this book, Gregor follows his little sister when she wanders away in their laundry room, and they end up falling through a deep, dark tunnel and ending up in what is called the Underland. Hence, he is called the Overlander. And he finds out that he is the key to saving everyone, of course. The Flame of Olympus is the first book of the Pegasus series. And in this book, a Pegasus suddenly lands on an apartment building in Manhattan. And the girl that finds it finds herself then drawn into a war between the gods. Magic is the first book of the Septimus Heap series. And this is about a boy who is the seventh son of a seventh son. And because of that, he is supposed to be very magical. But he disappears on the night that he is born, and the midwives tell his parents that he is dead, but he isn't dead. He is somewhere else. Raising Dragons is the first book of Dragons in the Midst, and it is about a boy who suddenly learns that he is actually descended from dragons, and a girl who has always known that she was descended from dragons, and the two of them have to team up to defeat a person who is trying to wipe dragons off of the earth. Peter and the Starcatchers is the first book in the series by the same name, and it starts with a boy named Peter in an orphanage in London in the 19th century, and he and some of his friends are shipped off on a ship called the Neverland, and they discover that it is holding some cargo of magic. And he makes a friend named Molly, and together the two of them have to save the world. And The Goose Girl is the first book in the Books of Bayern series, and this is about a princess who has to travel to another land to meet the prince that her parents have decided that she's going to marry. But on the way there, her handmaiden tricks her and takes over her identity so that she can be the one that marries the prince. But the real princess makes her way there and ends up tending the geese out in the yard. And she finds out that she has a special way of communicating with animals. These books were all in the tween section, and now I'll be talking about some that are in our teen corner. In Gone by Michael Grant, it's the first book of the Gone series. All of a sudden, all of the adults are gone. Only teenagers and little kids and toddlers are left. So there's really no one left in charge, and chaos kind of breaks out. Bullies take over, cliques form, but then it gets even worse when people and animals start to change. Talon is the first book in the series by Julie Kagawa, and this is also about dragons. And in this book, it's about a young woman who is going to join the Talon organization because she is a dragon. But in order to do that, she has to first prove that she is able to live a life as a human and go in disguise among the humans. So she gets to go live what we would consider a normal life, but of course nothing goes to plan. The Uglies by Scott Westerfeld, the first book in the series, And it is set in a future world where everyone at the age of 16 gets cosmetic surgery to become pretties, beautiful people who are all alike and live a happy, decadent life. But the main character, one of her friends has decided she doesn't want to get the surgery and runs away. And so our main character is sent out into the wilderness to look for her, where she discovers that maybe the life they are all living isn't as perfect as she thought. Scorched is another dragon series, and this is about a girl who discovers that an egg that her grandfather has actually is a dragon egg, and two boys come back from the future to try to stop it from hatching. One wants to stop it from hatching, and the other one wants her to nurture it, because in the future, dragons have taken over the planet. The Chronicles of Nick, the first book is called Infinity, and it is about a boy named Nick who is just your kind of average boy, but then all of a sudden he finds himself drawn into a secret world that he never knew that existed, and he has to hunt vampires and train and all of this, all while still maintaining his normal life and going to high school. The Testing is a series. The first book is called The Testing, and this is also set in a future world where everyone has to go through a series of tests to find out whether or not they will be accepted to go on for further study. The main character really wants to learn how to raise plants better because the planet has become a wasteland, and she wants to be like her father and try to save the world and bring them back. But the testing isn't, of course, what it seems like. It turns out it's incredibly dangerous. Not everyone passes or even survives, and when they do, they don't remember what happened afterwards. And finally, The Raven Boys is the first book in the Raven cycle, and it's about a girl named Blue who is the only person in her family who doesn't have magical powers. All of her sisters and aunts and cousins are all psychic. Her only power is that she can make other people's powers stronger. And she has a curse on her that the first boy that she falls in love with will die. And when she meets the boy that she sees his soul in the cemetery, meaning he's going to die that year, she just knows she's going to fall in love with him. I hope some of these series look good to you. If you would like to put any of these or any other books on hold, please give us a call at 309-524-2470, or you can place the holds yourself through our catalog. We will have curbside pickup available for these books Monday through Friday from 10 to 4 and Saturday from 9 to 1. Happy reading!